Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have any idea what time it is? It's time for We Gotta Talk, damn it. Hey, TikTok family. Going to be doing a podcast, and you can watch me do it live. It's going to be on the Oxford mass shooting. All right. Hello and welcome to We Gotta Talk, Damn It, a podcast where common sense and logic rule. I am your host, Freddy Mak. And if I sound a little somber today, it's because I live here in Michigan. It wouldn't matter if I lived in Michigan or not. The mass shooting that took place at Oxford High School was in my backyard, basically. It's about, I would say about an hour away, but still close enough. So it's hitting close to home. So I'm going to try not to get too excited and too emotional here, but as the past 24 hours progressed, I found out that it's hitting closer to home than I thought. I know somebody that was a teacher there. She actually was locked in her room until somebody came to ask her to come out, and even then she was very skeptical to come out until they were able to get a key, and then she was convinced that they were good people. I have a good friend who is dating somebody who has children that go to that school. And the part that I'm dread saying right now, because, I have 3 kids of my own. And I've always thought to myself, not today. Please, not today, not ever, not ever. I hope they go to school, they learn, they come back safely. Well, I belong to a triathlete group. And I'm not going to say their name because we have to respect their privacy. And although I did not know him personally or hang out with him, I knew of him, and I've even seen him running the trails. This tri group is huge. I mean, it's huge. And seeing him at races. Well, it was his son that was one of the victims. So you can't help feeling for them, especially if you have kids of your own. And my life is back. We're good. I'm sorry, I'm talking to TikTok here. And why am I doing this podcast? I didn't even plan on doing this. I didn't plan on it. We were going to talk about how to make money during the holiday season with your car, because I have all kinds of experience in rideshare and DoorDash and Instacart. But I felt compelled to do this because it's a very sorrow time in the United States of America. And I think it's worth talking about. And I don't want to talk about gun control, if you will. Bear with me here, okay? I'm going to take a little different angle on this than most people do when something like this happens. But I used to worry every single day about my kids going to school. And now all we've been hearing, with all the mass murders that have happened over the last few years from Columbine until now, all we've been hearing is about masks. It's a pedophile ring. It's a sexual slave market. Bickering over mask in a global pandemic. And we have these mass murderers happening on a regular basis in this country. And nobody seems to care. I want to know where these people are now. Nobody seems to care that 15-year-olds can get a hold of a gun and start shooting people. I'm not going to necessarily blame the politicians, even though they have a lot to do with this. The family unit in this country is breaking down. It's breaking down big time. Some people say we need God back in the family. No, we don't. We don't need God. You don't need God to make a good decision. You don't need God to be a good parent. So, this has nothing to do with this podcast here. It has nothing to do with taking your guns away. This always fascinates me when people take this approach. They're going to take our guns away. Their pea brains can't even think for a moment the undertaking that it would take for the government to take your guns away. Most people that own guns own them responsibly. I'm one of them. I'm a liberal that carries. And I actually just started doing it. Had nothing against guns prior to that. Never thought we should ban them. Listen, if you want to own a gun, own a gun. That's cool. Most people, hunters, are very responsible with their guns. Very responsible. I know a lot of people that have guns. So this is not about, demonizing people with guns. It's not about taking your guns away. Can you imagine the federal government, the undertaking that it would take to take away your guns? And let's assume for a minute that they were successful. Now what? Now what? The bad guys only have the guns that got them illegally, right? And all these folks that thinks that, they got to own these guns because they got to, do something when the government turns on them. Again, I'm sorry. I don't like name calling, but pea brains. You're not going to take over the government. I don't care if there are more guns out there than the United States and than the military has. I don't care. They have bigger tanks. They have drones. They have the capability of shutting your gas, your electricity off. You will not win. I don't care if every single gun owner got together and decided to attack our military. You can't win. It's like an ant trying to take on an adult. It's not going to happen. Think about the military might that we have. Also, think about the percentage of people that are liberals that own guns, that have no desire to beat their chests and say, I'm owning a gun and all these guns, and because the government's going to take over. I got to protect myself from the government. Well, only a pea brain thinks that way. What I want to talk about is this gun culture, the irresponsible gun culture that we have in this country. And it starts with the family. It starts with the family. I see a 15-year-old who is troubled. I actually feel sorry for even Kyle, even though I think he's guilty of sin. Yep, and he's a piece of shit. But these kids are a product of their environment. What mother allows their kid to take an AR-15 to a protest, riot, whatever the hell you want to call it? What mother does that? What parent? Now again, we don't know all the circumstances, but the gun that this guy had is a pretty lethal gun. I know, because I know that kind of gun. I don't understand a grown parent. By the way, they confiscate it about. I have Invisalign in my mouth. Sometimes it's hard to you slur a little bit. They were able to gather about a dozen rifles from his house. A dozen rifles. And he had a SIG in his house, a handgun. From what I heard, it's like military grade handgun. It's a very powerful handgun. How does a 15-year-old get a hold of it? and a 15-year-old who obviously has mental problems. I'll tell you how. It's called irresponsible parenting. I want everybody for a moment, even the gun nuts, okay? Take off the table that they are going to take your guns away. Just take it off the table. It's ridiculous. The only reason why, our politicians say that is for your vote. Every time they say the Democrats are going to come after your guns, they know they're going to get a vote. Nobody's coming after your gun. Nobody. Get it through your thick head. You want to own a gun? Own a gun. You want to own rifles for hunting? Own rifles for hunting. But where is the frickin' responsibility of the parents? Where? Again, this is not a popular thing to say, but this poor kid, clearly mentally ill. Who do you blame? Most people listening to this podcast had kids. Who has kids? You expect a 15-year-old to make a rational decision? Especially if he's getting bullied? Or he's being criticized? Or he's depressed? Instead of, fists, he sees a gun. Yeah, why not? That's the culture we live in. Let's shoot, let's kill. Now, I'm not saying video games, there's a lot of research on video games and whether or not that has a lot to do with it. But I know my son, my youngest son, came home one day and was like, Dad, I couldn't get him. I couldn't kill him. He almost like it was real. Now, he was young, very, very impressionable age, very impressionable. But so are 15-year-olds. I actually called the parent and said, hey, listen, dog, if you're going to play that game, just call my son back home. Because it's getting to his head. Of course, my children grew up to be beautiful, outstanding citizens. And I've never once exposed them to guns. Never once beat at my chest. Look at this gun, son. Guns are not for fun. They're not for showing off. They're not for beating your chest. They're for hunting. They're for protecting your house. I had a friend. I've lost that friendship over the election because he was somebody that I did not know who he was. Guns all over the place. And their kids. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, they know how to handle it. Really? 12 years old? Okay. All right, that's cool. You want to teach your kids to be responsible? But dude, I just not, it's uncomfortable. I mean, we got kids out there shooting Uzis. They can't handle it. I'm sure you all heard this because it made national news. Of course, the NRA probably did their very best to smash it. Where the 12-year-old couldn't control the gun, shot back, and killed the instructor. What parent sends their kid to a shooting range to shoot a Uzi? For what reason? No one is going to take your guns away. We had more people fighting for a freaking mask on a child's face. Oh, it's pedophilia. Oh, they can't see my child's face. We had more people fighting to take masks off children than we have protecting our children from these mass murders. Republicans have got you so scared and manipulating you so much that the Democrats are going to take your guns away, all for a freaking vote. They don't care whose lives are going to get killed. They don't care. They don't care. I'm not an expert. I mean, I'm not an expert at what the actual solution is. I can just use a little common sense and say, why not? If this is our culture now, if this is how it's going to be, right now, you can't walk into a federal building, a courtroom, without being searched up and down, without going through a metal detector? You want to know why? Because there's crazies that walk into those places, right? There are angry people that walk into those places. But schools, no. Our children, no. Republican solution, arm the teachers. No. How about security at the schools? How about metal detectors? Okay, you want to talk about long-term damage to children? Okay, it's the parents that are being irresponsible and not parenting their children to be outstanding citizens who end up killing people in our classrooms. Not mask. Killings. Even the kids that were not affected by a bullet, they got to live with that all their lives. For the rest of their lives, they got to live with that. For the rest of their lives, they got to see somebody that got shot in the frickin' face. And you want to talk to me about mask? Go to hell. Go right to hell. We got our kids worrying about active shooters now. That's what they're trained. They go to school. They don't, back in the day, we worried about, tornado warnings and a nuclear attack, put your head down, put your hands over your head. And maybe a nuclear attack at that time was actually possible, right? Who would have thought that we would be worrying about teenagers busting into schools and killing people? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I say surround these buildings with, listen, you know how many veterans are out there that are trained? You want to put a gun in a teacher's hand? Their job is to teach. Okay? I've been through the courses. Okay? And I've done some tactical training as well. You can't do that to teachers. That's not their job. That's not their job. That's not why they went to school. That's not why they got an education to teach. That's not why. Secure the building. First line of defense, a professional at the front door. And if it just so happens that guy gets through there, well, at least he may have slowed him down enough time to call 911. But that's better than putting guns. By the time a teacher is going to react, what? He's already killed 7 people, 10 people, 17 people. I think with Parkland was 17 people. No, hi Republican. I hope you're a Republican with common sense. I'm talking to my TikTok people that are on here. I'm sorry, I gotta record this, so I'll get back with you guys in a minute. So, but now our students got to worry about active shooters. That's great. That's really great. But yeah. I mean, it seems like there's no expectation of safety in learning in our country. I mean, people, I've had someone say, well, it happens everywhere. Where? Tell me. The only time that I hear of an active shooter in a school or a church, synagogue, or a mosque is right here in this country. Okay? I mean, you look at Kyle, I'm guilty of sin. Troubled, though. These kids are troubled because parents don't parent anymore. They want to be friends and buds and yeah, good. You think they watch them? I monitored all my kids with their cell phones. I knew exactly where they were going, when they are coming home. I see a lot of parents don't care about that anymore. Okay? Yeah. I don't know what you mean by a bold statement, but yeah. So, again, sorry about that. I feel sorry for these kids. I really do. As guilty as they are, and they need to pay the piper. They need to go to jail or they need to be punished. I feel sorry for them. Okay? Because the parents are doing a shit job for something like that to happen. I mean, there's a huge difference between, okay, son, here's the gun, lock it up, done. Right? You are an irresponsible parent if you allow your children to have access to any kind of gun in your house. You are irresponsible. And you are the one that's causing the deaths of these children. Okay? I taught my kids to be considerate. I taught my kids to be kind. I taught my kids, don't start trouble. Walk away from it. Okay? I mean, some people say, well, we need to bring God back in school. No, we don't. We don't need to bring God back in school. We don't need to bring God anywhere. What we need to do is teach our children to make good decisions. Why do I need some invisible man in the sky to dictate what? I can't make my own decisions. You can't teach your children to make their own decisions. You do it every day. Go to school, get a college degree, right? Be successful. How about don't be mean? How about don't be angry? How about if you are, let's talk. Be engaged. I see too many parents nowadays that are not engaged with their children whatsoever. Was I a perfect parent? Absolutely not. There is no perfect parent out there. It's a tough job. It's a tough job. Okay? But some people, I see it all the time. Bring God back, bring God back. What is it? Okay, maybe it might help. I don't know. It might bring them some, comfort and some peace, and get them back on their feet to be considerate and kind. Maybe, sure. I'm not saying, I'm not dismissing it. I'm just saying there's a bigger picture here. Stop using that as a crux for somebody to be good. I read this book called Conversations with God. Great book. As a matter of fact, I got it right here. It's a mess. I go back to it. And it talks about how we can end all the bad stuff in the world. And it's real simple. Make good decisions. And we learn good decisions, right? What's the higher? My parents, their parents, their parents, their parents. You see it all over the place. Right? Any child that is troubled comes from a bad family. Could there be a leak? Sure, I was the black sheep of my family. Absolutely there could be a leak. But I didn't go out killing people. I, knocked on doors, tipped over garbage cans, got in fist fights. Owning a gun back in the 80s or 90s was like, what? What? Crazy. I'll get back to you guys. I'm sorry. I gotta finish this. I didn't want to make it too long. So, my father owned a gun. I hardly ever saw it, didn't see it. He didn't have this, son, yeah, guns, Never felt the desire to show it to me, to hand it to me, to take me to a gun range, nor my brother. See? The gun culture. Look at this gun, son. One of these days you're going to own one. For what reason? You want a gun? Own a gun. To protect your family. Keep it safe, lock it up, done. Unbelievable. People ask me all the time, what's the solution, Fred? What's the solution? Well, look, it seems like this is going to be a common occurrence. The Democrats and Republicans are going to fight. In a week, we're not going to hear about it anymore. It's going to get swept under the rug, and next month it's going to happen again, and we start all over again. Thoughts and prayers, right? Screw your thoughts and prayers. Enough of thoughts and prayers. We want it to stop. Now there's rumors that he put something on his Instagram, and there's been a lot of times where schools have caught stuff that, students have done, on social media. Why this was an oversight, I have no idea. But the bigger picture is, what parent allowed their kid to have access to this gun? What parent? If people come to my house, you think I got my gun hanging around? No. You lock it up. You put it somewhere safe. It's not for anybody to see at any freaking time except for you. That's it. Oh my God, I hope I'm not yelling too loud. My gains are going to be off. So I'm not getting it. I'm just not getting the gun culture in this country. It has nothing to do with taking away your guns. Nobody's going to take away your guns. But I keep repeating myself, but put that off the table. Why are young children getting a hold of these guns? I don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And here's the crazy. This is what politicians do, especially Republicans, right? They divert, they pivot, they twist, they go off on a tangent. If this were a Muslim, a black person, or a Mexican, they're a thug, is illegal. Told you we should have banned them. But it's a white guy, so mental problems. They all have, anyone that does something like, they all have mental problems. What are you, crazy? There's something sick about them. Stop categorizing them. It's a sick act. There's mental problems with them. It has nothing to do with whether they're black, Muslim, Hispanic, white. They're sick. However, let's call a spade, right? Majority of them, if not all of them, the mass shooters are white males. White males. Crazy. Listen, I know so many friends. They hunt. It's great. It's a sport. They love it. They teach their kids to hunt. They go hunting with them. They teach them gun responsibility. They go home, lock it up. Done. Done. No beating of the chest. No, don't tread on this. No, go ahead, take it away. I dare you. That culture is destroying kids, and it's destroying this country. I mean, we're quickly turning into a third world country. We're turning into a shit whole country, and everybody is laughing at us because this doesn't happen in other countries. Only here. If it does happen, it's rare. This happens on a regular basis. We expect it. We expect it to happen. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, I wish we could take these kids back to, drills for a nuclear attack or tornado drills and stuff like that. But instead, we got to worry about an active shooter. I mean, there's a trend here. There's an absolute trend here that these. Does anyone remember doing those drills for a possible nuclear attack or tornado? Is anyone traumatized by that? These kids, every single time they have to go through the protocol of an active shooter, what do you think that does to them psychologically? And you want to argue with me that they're psychologically going to be damaged because of a mask? Kiss my ass. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Absolutely. The mentality of these people. Freaking pea brains. And again, I hope I'm doing a good job separating the responsible gun owners, such as myself, and the dozens of friends that I know, and the responsible hunters teaching their kids the responsibility of a gun, than these morons that beat their chest. Son, you're going to own a gun. Make sure they never take it away. Or daughter, for that matter. Oh, my God. God. I mean, it's coming to the point now where I know the NRA and gun nuts, well, we need less regulations. No, actually, we need more. We need more. I'm telling you, anyone that buys a gun nowadays should go through a course. And they should be mandated to lock it up and maybe even a surprise visit. I know that's a little too far, but I'm just saying. Something, I don't have all the answers. All I know is that children are getting a hold of a guns and doing severe damage and causing damage to families, communities, and as a whole, as a country. Now I have to go to her funeral because of the group that I belong to. their son. And, you know, I'm kind of, and I don't like categorizing, right? I hear people say, oh, he's a popular. It doesn't matter whether they're popular or not. This is a human life. A human life. And you know what? Here's my philosophy. You know why George W. Bush didn't mind starting these wars and killing over 1 million people? You know why Republicans, yeah, they just sweep it under the rug. It is what it is. Well, because, no, they're going to meet their maker. Who cares? Oh, they're with Christ now. Who cares? I'm telling you, I said that 30 years ago, that they don't care about death because they're going to meet their maker, you know. And if they don't believe in Christ, well, they're going to go where they deserve to go. What a sick way of thinking. Now, I can't confirm that, but I'm just trying to logically think this out. Why are they so cavalier about this? No solutions whatsoever. Democrats have started most of the wars. I'm reading are you out of your mind? You dude, stop listening to Fox News. Anyway, it doesn't matter who starts it. And we're not talking about war here. We're talking about the gun culture in this country that is absolutely unhealthy. And it's causing damage to our children, and they are causing damage to communities and our country as a whole. There was a group that started fathers at a school, making their presence over there and cheering them on. You know, that's what we need. We need more. Parents need to be more involved in a positive way. Not, hey, son, take this gun one day. It's going to be yours. And you can protect yourself. Don't tread on this. That's not responsible gun ownership. It's not. It's setting them up for failure. That's what it is. Like I said, my father had a gun, never saw it. Never saw it. Why would I want to see it? Why would he want to show it to me? My kids are all over 18 years old. They want to buy a gun, they can. When they're 21, they're all over 21 soon. They want to buy a handgun, let them buy a handgun. I'm not going to sit there and beat my chest and encourage it. It's their decision. Let them make a responsible, educated decision on their own. And beat the chest. Come on, son, get that gun and make sure nobody takes it away from you. Make sure nobody takes it away from you. Don't tread on this. Ridiculous. From Columbine to Sandy Hook to Parkland to Las Vegas and now Oxford. Okay? And everything in between. It's going to be swept under the rug. And next month, we're going to be back here again talking about it all over again. All over again. We need to start with protecting the schools. And then we need to really be hypersensitive of people who are having mental problems. That's it. It's not about taking your guns away. Stop with that narrative. It's nonsense. Oh, my God. I saw a bumper sticker the other day. It said, F gun control. Really? Okay. Yep. No gun control, no gun laws, no nothing. If you think it's bad now, you wait and see. Oh, somebody wants to join me. Oh, boy. All right. Let's go. Let's go to TikTok and let's see what somebody has to say here. Let's see if, what's up there, buddy?
What's going on? I seen the username and I'm like, what we got to talk about, damn it?
We got to talk, damn it. I tell you. How you doing, my friend? What's your name? Jim?
My name's actually John.
Hey, John. How you doing, buddy?
I'm not doing too shabby. How about yourself?
I can't complain. I only got a few minutes here because I'm actually doing a recording a podcast. What do you got to say about what's going on with this Oxford stuff?
Oxford, I don't know what's going on with Oxford, bud.
Oh, you didn't hear about the mass shooting here in Michigan? No, yeah, we had another mass shooting, and so I'm just talking about this. I'm not talking about taking guns away from people. I'm not talking about gun control. I'm talking about why a 15-year-old ends up with a gun in their hand to go into a school and shoot and kill 3 people and injure 7. How does that happen?
Beats me.
How does that happen in supposedly the greatest country in the world? It doesn't happen in any other country. Are we a great country?
You want to know my honest opinion on it?
Sure, I want to know your opinion.
My honest opinion, and you can tell I'm younger, but it's my generation.
Oh, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Me, I'm
Okay, there's no question that it's your generation. I'm 58 years old. Okay, and um, we never had to worry about this stuff,
My generation, we're not making sure people know the value of life.
right?
We're not making sure that these younger brothers and sisters or cousins or whatever know proper gun safety.
Right. Let me. I
We're
so I don't.
kids.
Your name is Joe, right?
John.
John, I'm sorry, John. So I don't know if people can hear John, but he was talking about how, his generation, they don't understand the value of life and they don't understand gun safety and it's not being taught. And that's what I've been talking about throughout this whole podcast. Parents beating their chests, fathers beating their chests. Hey, son, this is a great gun. You hold. What are we doing? Like I said, my father owned a gun. I never saw it. I never saw it.
My brother-in-law, he has guns, and his oldest son is gonna be 8 on the 18th, and he's got a 9-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
They both know that if dad's cleaning the gun, you stay away from it.
That's responsible.
It's not a toy.
That's a responsible gun owner. That's a responsible gun owner. Hey, listen, I got to go because I got to wrap this up. But I appreciate your opinion. I appreciate what you said. You made a lot. You made an awful lot of sense. And you're right. This generation it has no conception of they don't understand the value of life. They don't understand.
Or life.
They don't understand guns.
The
And
value of life in general.
and it starts with the parents, though. Starts with the parents.
Yep.
So all right, buddy. Thank you very much. Keep on listening. All right.
Yep, no problem.
All right, bud. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, that's great. I like that. I like what he said. It made an awful lot of sense. Okay, because it really comes down to it. Just seems like kids. I don't know what it is that they don't understand that value of life. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. So, but it's funny. A parent will protect their kids from crossing the street, right? They'll go, stop, they'll scream bloody murder, but they'll have a gun sitting on the table for a 15-year-old to take to school. I can't wrap my mind around this. I just can't wrap my mind around this. It makes no sense whatsoever. So the gun culture in this country is just, it's delusional. And these people think they're patriots, right? Right? No, they're not patriots. Our military are patriots. Those are true patriots. They defend our country. They come back with no arms, no legs. They can't see. They can't talk. They can't walk, or their body's all screwed up. Post-traumatic syndrome. These are patriots. These are heroes. Okay, just because you own a gun doesn't mean you're a patriot. Doesn't mean your party owns guns. Okay, like I said, I know a lot of liberals, including myself, who owns guns. Well, I said that plural, one. Okay, jeez, I don't know the way things are going now. I may need to own more. So again, I keep repeating myself, but this is not about taking your guns away. I've been hearing this since I was able to vote at 18 years old, and nobody's taking your. Has there been stricter gun laws? Sure, there needs to be, right? Otherwise, things could be a lot worse. Okay, but this whole freedom thing, I don't want Second Amendment, beating my chest, get over it. Nobody's taking your gun away, and just because you own it doesn't mean you're a patriot. It doesn't mean you're, some sort of ownership on America, right? It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Okay. I don't know. Sometimes I think these people don't care because Jesus is going to protect them, right? I don't know. I know that's a little off the wall, but sometimes I don't think it is. Okay, but it's almost like, well, they're going to die anyway. You could trip and die. You could die in a car accident today. But they're going to meet Jesus. It's so just lackadaisical, right? And again, I'm blaming both parties here, right? Republicans more for sure. They don't want to hear about it. Well, guns are not the problems. It's mental health. And sure, to a point, of course. Okay. But how is this person getting the gun? How is this person getting the gun? Kyle got it illegally, and his mother drove him. Right? I mean, what are we doing? I can't even comprehend taking one of my children to a protest or riot, whatever you want to call it, with a assault rifle to go, quote unquote, protect property. And if any of them came up to me and said they were, I said, in a cold day in hell, you're not gonna subject yourself to something like that, because you possibly could die. What parent does that? See, the gun culture, the freedom culture, the beat your chest culture, don't take my gun away culture is killing our children. Plain and simple. Killing our children. I mean, these people to me have marshmallows for brain. I'm sorry, but I don't like insulting people like that. I really don't. But it just seems to be the way it is. Anyway. But, and we need to stop categorizing, right? Whenever there's a mass shooting like that, oh, he was a Muslim, he's a terrorist. Oh, he's a Mexican or a black, he's a thug. You know, is he illegal, right? These are people, obviously, clearly, if somebody does this, I don't care what color skin they are, they're mentally ill. But let's face it, most of them are, white. But this gun empowerment syndrome that we have in this country has to stop. It has to stop. That's really what it comes down to. It has to stop. Oh, this is so exhausting. It's so emotional. Again, I don't have all the answers. I don't think anybody does. But we need to keep it simple, right? Let's start with securing our schools. Let's just start with that. You know how many veterans are out there that would be more than retired veterans? You pay them well, would be more than willing. Even homeless veterans, right? The greatest country in the world, we have homeless veterans on the street, right? 22 of them committing suicide every day. You know how many veterans we have to have for 22? Are you kidding me? Right? Let's uplift them. Let's say we need your help to protect our children. Okay? Retrain them. Put them in front of a school and pay them a good salary. Okay? But instead, we want to bicker for a vote. That's all we're doing. We're bickering for a vote. And it needs to stop. All right? I'm going to take a few minutes here and just look at my TikTok. Okay? You know what? There's a lot of stuff on here. Yeah, I don't care who started most wars. I mean, it's irrelevant to what I'm talking about right now. That's a whole nother topic. Let's see here. All right, got a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna sign off and then we'll get to that. But yeah. We need to stop this this gun empowerment syndrome, this gun culture syndrome that is just killing our children. And again, somebody said, Fred, you repeat yourself too much on your podcast. But you know what? Sometimes that's what you have to do to get shit across, right? Nobody's taking your guns away. If that undertaking ever took place, there would be anarchy in the streets. It would be like the purge. People would have to lock their doors and the bad guys would come knocking down your doors to rape, pillage, steal. It's not going to happen. Our politicians are dumb, but they're not that dumb. Okay? All right. For more information on this podcast or other podcasts, simply Google We Gotta Talk Dammit, GOTTA, We Gotta Talk Dammit. And if you want to be a guest on We Gotta Talk Dammit, send me an email at Freddy@WeGottaTalkDammit.com, and that's Freddy, Freddy, Freddy at We Gotta Talk Dammit. You want to talk about this topic, other topics, but I'm definitely going to get back on track because I said to myself this month up until in January, we're going to talk about positive stuff. We have to. It's been a crazy 4 or 5 years and we're still divided. Somehow we got to find a way to step away just for a minute, even if you disagree, even if you don't see that person again, but just step away and come and find your center. I know I had enough. But obviously, this is something. How do you talk about making money when something like this happens? But that's going to be the next podcast. We're going to talk about how to make money using your car. Been very successful in rideshare, DoorDash, all these food delivery stuff, and you can make money doing it. And I've made very good money part-time doing it. I'm going to pass that knowledge on to you and how to get started. It's not as simple as starting up and hopping in the car. There are ways to do it so you stay local. You're smart with your driving, and actually you have some rights about who you can pick up and who you don't want to pick up, etc. So I said you can deny rides if you want to, and we'll talk about that when it goes on. But spread this podcast out. Spread it out, because this is not about taking guns away. It's about taking personal responsibility for the guns that you have. And it seems like it's not happening. It's just not happening. All right, thanks, folks. Folks, thank you so much for listening. Hope you pass it on. I look forward to your comments. And again, simply Google "We Gotta Talk Damn It." We Gotta Talk Damn It, and everything will pop up. This podcast on 7 different platforms: YouTube and of course Facebook as well. Again, thanks very much, and treat each other kindly, treat each other well, and please, for you folks out there with guns, please be responsible. Please be responsible. We don't need this to happen again. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and remember, we got to talk. Damn it. Peace out.